I'm just gonna wait for a few other people to join. Hi, Bree. Oh, we got two Brees. Hi, Bree. Hi, Cassidy. Hello. Oh, say hi to my dog. Hello, Gemma. Hi, Claire. Hi, Hannah. I'm gonna wait probably like one more minute and then I'll get started a little bit. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I apologize if my dog gets in the way or my cat gets in the way. Yeah, it may be inevitable at this point, but that is okay. We will work with what we have. Hello, Riley. Hi, Maddie. I miss you too, Gemma. Yeah, if you guys haven't, like, while we're waiting right now, if you guys haven't, like, stretched at all, I mean, it's not, like, a huge deal. Nothing that we're going to be doing today is, like, super, super crazy. But if you just want to, like, maybe even do, like, I don't know, 20 jumping jacks, just kind of stretch out your shoulders a little bit. I would suggest probably doing, like, one bridge, just because I know when I do one of these drills, it really gets a good back stretch. So maybe just do like one bridge. Nothing crazy. Oh, I miss you too, Orly. I said. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Chelsea Landry. I am a coach over at the New Mexico location. I'm on here today because I absolutely love tumbling. For those that have worked with me, tumbling is like my thing. I mean, I absolutely love cheerleading in general, but I think my specialty is more tumbling. I love figuring out drills for you guys to do. Everybody who has worked with me kind of knows I'm crazy with drills. I probably do more drills than I actually do skills with them, so they're used to that. Another thing that I'm going to kind of suggest is I'm only going to be doing a couple of these drills because I'm old and I am not flexible anymore or as strong as I used to be, but I would suggest doing at least 25 reps of these drills, if not more. The more you do, the more it's going to really reinforce that muscle memory. It's going to make sure that you have those body positions down and everything like that. So I would make sure you do as much of these as you possibly can. If you've done a whole lot of them and you're bored of them, just send me like a DM or an email or anything like that, and I will figure out more for you to do. Sorry if I'm checking my phone a lot. I'm just making sure that I'm good on time. I want you guys to ask me any questions. I'll try to get as many of them answered as possible, but if not, then you can, like I said, DM me with any questions and I'll try and just clarify some things. I'm going to tell you the drill. I'm going to do the drill a couple of times and then I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more about it. So that's kind of how this is going to work. This is specifically for back handsprings, but some of these drills can be used for other skills like layouts and round off, snapping out of your round offs, and just little tiny things like that. They're really, really good just for good body control and body awareness in general. So I love these drills. I take my back handsprings in 4 different steps. I'm not saying that that is the only way to do it, but that's just the way that I have felt most comfortable coaching them, and I've seen a lot of success from that. So that's kind of how we're going to do that today. So first thing that you do in your back handspring that a lot of people overlook is just the sit. It's bending your legs to get into that jump. A lot of people think that's literally just, like I said, bending your legs to get into your jump. But like everything else, there is a correct way and an incorrect way to do it. So I'm going to kind of go over what you guys should be doing. So I'm going to go, all you need for this is your wall. I'm going to go ahead and do the drill a couple of times, and then I'll come back over here and I'll kind of explain what I was doing and what to do, what not to do, and things like that. So, excuse me. So for this first drill, it is for the sits as well as the takeoff. Okay, so you want to make sure from your sit, you're taking off into your jump in the correct position. So sit and take off. I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right, so hopefully you guys were able to see what I just did. I hope I was far enough away for you guys to see my feet, because that's pretty important. What you need to do is you need to start with your chest up. When you go into your sit, you really want to make sure that you're more in your heels than in your toes. So that's why I'm kind of just letting myself lean back into it a little bit. A huge thing with your back handspring, something to really, really make sure that you're doing is, or not doing, I should say, is your knees should never, ever, ever be going in front of your toes. If they're going in front of your toes, you're pushing forward into it. You're not supposed to be going forward into a back handspring. So always make sure when I'm doing this drill, I'm leaning back into it. My heels or my knees are not in front of my toes. From there, you're just going to naturally slide up the wall. Nothing major. Let yourself slide up the wall. Go up onto those tiptoes, lifting your hips. Your quad muscles should be engaged. Your hips should be engaged. Your core should be tight. When I get my arms are up. My shoulders are up to my ears, so they are super shrugged. I'm also keeping my head just straight forward the entire time. So yeah, that is the sit and the takeoff. I'm going to do that one more time for you guys, and then I'm going to move on to the next drill. Okay. And just make sure you're being as aggressive as possible. It's a little bit awkward kind of falling back into the wall, so even if you don't even want to do that part and you just want to get into that sit position and just slide up from there, that's fine. You still get a pretty good idea of how it should be going. So that, drill number 1, sit and take off. Drill number 2, next step in your back handspring, is the jump. You have to make sure you're super aggressive off of your toes. You're getting your arms up as quick as you can. So I'm going to move you guys into another spot so I can show you that, and then I will go over anything else. Okay. Alrighty, I am literally balancing my phone on a paper towel roll right now, so I really hope it doesn't fall. But, so drill number 2 is the jump. I do this onto couch cushions. You can do it off of or onto anything that you feel comfortable with. You don't even have to jump onto anything if you really don't want to. I just use it just as kind of like a visual and like a physical representation of how high or how quick you should be pushing off the floor and how high you should get into that lift. Again, you're going to be taking what we learned in the sit drill to do this next part of the drill. You're going to make sure that you're keeping your chest up, you're going onto your heels. Once you jump, you're pushing through your toes, arms are up, shoulders are shrugged, head neutral the entire time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will go through a couple other things. Whoa. That could have been funny. So, excuse me, again, you don't really need to use pillows. I do, just because it helps me figure out, oh, I didn't jump enough, now I'm falling onto my butt, onto a pillow, or I jumped really good, I made it, I may even be taking a couple steps back into it, things like that. So, just make sure you're being super aggressive, pushing through your toes. If your toes are not pointed in the air in your jump, then you're not doing enough, okay? You are not pushing through your toes enough, you're not lifting through your shoulders as much as you can, so really make sure you're focusing on that when I'm doing it. My butt is super tight, my core is tight. We don't want to banana your jump, okay? So core is in. If you're doing it correctly, you actually should have a little bit of momentum falling back, because that means you're engaging your hips, you're engaging your quads, and you're getting them lifted right off the bat. So that is drill number 2, the jump. Drill number 3, you will also just need your 2 pillows. I use a dumbbell with this drill just to make it a little bit harder. You don't have to. If you don't have a dumbbell but you want something heavy, you can get like a plastic bag, you can fill it with sand or anything like that. Just be creative, okay? So drill number 3 is for 2 things. It's for the lifting of your hips as well as throwing your arms. Okay, so this is gonna be the actual thing that flips you over. So super, super important. One thing I want you guys to realize is that these 2 things should be happening at the same time and at the same speed, okay? So if you have a super aggressive arm throw, but your hips are not lifting a lot or as quickly as that, then timing is gonna be off. You're gonna feel it in some way in your back handspring, as well as vice versa, okay? So I'll go ahead and show you this drill, and then I will talk a little bit more about it. So you're gonna want your pillows probably like a good foot and a half away. It depends on your height. You can kind of like trial and error it a little bit. I have a dumbbell. I will be putting it right on my hips. So you're gonna sit in between your 2 pillows. Bailey, sorry, my cat is about to go in between. Arms out in front, back up straight, going from here, throwing, lifting at the same time. Do that a couple more times. All right, and there is the lifting of the hips and throwing of the arms. What's really important about this drill is that when I'm lifting my hips, my butt is really, really tight. I'm squeezing as tight as I can. I'm really engaging my quads, and I'm keeping my core tight. A way that you can make this more difficult is that you can add a couple pillows for height. The higher up your mats are, the harder it's gonna be, the more you're gonna have to really, really lift your hips into it, and the more weight is gonna be wanting to pull you down, whereas you have to be lifting up. So I'm gonna do that one more time, and then I'll move on. Alrighty, that is drill number 3, lifting your hips and throwing your arms. The last drill is the ending of your back handspring, the handstand snap down. I think personally as a coach, that is the area of technique that needs the most work and is the most misunderstood. So this part is super important. It's a hard one, it's really tough. I'm old, I have not done any of this stuff in way too long, so I know I even really struggle with it. The biggest thing that you're gonna need is shoulder flexibility and shoulder strength. You're gonna have a lot of weight on your body, so I'll find ways to make it a little bit easier and a little bit more difficult for you guys. I'm gonna move you guys back over to the wall for this last one. Okay, so for the handstand snap down, you can do this from just a regular handstand. I personally would prefer if you guys were over inverted in your handstand. So if your hands, like if your back was up against the wall, if you pull your hands a couple feet away from the wall, then you're gonna kind of be arched over. I call that a tight arch. You should not be loose bending in your back. You should be bending with your shoulders. So super tight arch. If you are not ready for that, which some of us may not be, that's fine. Do it from a regular handstand. Just still try and get kind of the same effect. So I will show you guys the drill, and then I'm only gonna do it once because holy moly, it really kills me. But I'll do it once right now, and then I'll do it one time before the end. Okay, so this is the handstand snap down drill. All right. Holy moly. That really gets me. But handstand snap down drill. My hands were farther away from the wall. The farther away from the wall you get your hands, the harder it's gonna be. I know even when I do this drill, I'm really, really tempted, and I know a lot of you all that have done this drill, at least with me, or who knows, it's really tempting to want to kick off of the wall. I know I even have like a tiny little bit of like wanting to. You have to rely on pushing your shoulders, like your armpits, from your armpits. That needs to be pushing in the direction that you're gonna be landing in. Okay, so shoulders have to be super, super, super open the whole time. If you guys don't know the difference between open shoulders and closed shoulders, I usually tell my kids, think of like your arm is like a door hinge, right? So if my shoulders are open, my arms are gonna be up, straight line. If my shoulders are closed, they're down here, which means now my arms are no longer by my ears, and 99.99% of the time in tumbling, that is a really, really big issue. Okay, so really make sure shoulders are open the whole time. I have my core tight. I'm not saying I did this perfect. I didn't do any of these drills perfect, but you should not be arching your back. Like I said, there's a really big difference between arching your back and now my back hurts. I know a lot of you guys complain about having lower back pain. A lot of that could have something to do with you tumbling using your lower back rather than squeezing your core, and tumbling using your shoulders and the lifting of your hips. Okay, so I know that's one thing that I really try and push for my athletes, is to obviously push to do everything correctly, because if you don't do it correctly, not only is it not correct, and it probably won't look the same, or it won't look as visually appealing to the eye, but in some way you're going to be working the wrong areas of your body, and that could lead to an injury, right? A lot of you guys complain about the lower back pain. Let's start working on shoulder flexibility more. Let's start working on strengthening our core and things like that. So let me do this drill one more time, and then I'll kind of go through and get any more questions or anything like that. So that one looked a little bit different. I personally did not feel me blocking through my shoulders as much on that one. So if you guys saw me kind of have to like take a step out of it, that time I was not as aggressive physically using my shoulders to block off the ground. That leads me into that. I haven't talked about that yet. That's a really big one too, is shoulder blocks and learning how to do them correctly. A lot of people tend to, sorry, somebody just got home. A lot of people tend to use their arms to bend their arms rather than blocking through their shoulders. So really make sure you are not bending your arms, and you are using your shoulders, and you're using the flick of my wrists and even my fingers, right? So that's kind of where a shoulder block should come from, rather than trying to bend my arms and then push them back off the ground. That's super hard to do. That's pretty much trying to do a handstand push-up, and holy moly, I haven't done that in so many years, so let's not try and do that. I don't like how I ended with that drill. I'm gonna do it one more time, try and make it better, and then get some questions, okay? Time, still not perfect. Nothing that I have done today is perfect in any way, shape, or form. So I need you guys to know that. I probably should have found one of you guys to do it for me. I asked my 8-year-old roommate's son. He was not budging with that. So here I am. So like I said, nothing that I did was perfect in any way, shape, or form, but just trying to go through the correct techniques with you guys. Looks like I have a little bit of time for questions. Do we have any questions for these drills? Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, my dog is cute until she starts barking. But yes, she's very cute. Ooh. Rock's going. For keeping your legs together, a really, really good drill for that is if you can do your back handspring and you have a safe place to do your back handspring and you want to keep your feet together, grab something. Hold on, let me get something. Grab something like a tissue box, a roll of toilet paper, a shirt, anything that you can kind of squeeze in between your feet. And what you're going to want to do is hold it in between your feet and be able to do a back handspring landing with it still in between your feet. I know that seems weird because technically you're doing it at that point with your legs together, but if you train your body to want to squeeze something really, really, really hard, then once you take that something away, your legs are gonna have that muscle memory, and hopefully at that point they will be together. So, keeping your legs together. Yes, Piper, usually at the gym we use foam blocks. I don't have one, but yes, that is usually what I use. That's perfect, yeah, anything like that. Drills to keep your legs straighter. So that's a tough one. I'm not saying that I don't necessarily have drills for it. Most of the drills for keeping your legs straighter are going to pretty much be the jumping drill, because you're really forced to push off of your toes and push through your toes until your legs are straight. That's something that I tell my athletes all the time. I have to tell them in different ways because they kind of comprehend it differently. But in order to keep their legs straight, I'll either tell them, hey, just keep jumping. Like, don't think that you need to start your sit and then as soon as you go for your jump, don't think you need to automatically start pulling your knees over you, right? Your jump or your flip in your back handspring happens from using your shoulders, stretching through your shoulders and lifting your hips, right? Your legs are connected to your hips. So as long as you're lifting your hips, your legs will come over naturally. Okay, so I see a lot of people wanting to go from their sit and they get really nervous because they just want to flip right away. So they just kind of pull their knees over them. I see that a lot. One thing now that I'm remembering, one drill that I have seen done, I haven't personally done. I'll try it. I don't know how perfect it's going to be. You guys are probably going to laugh at my bridge because my bridge is awful. It's so bad, but I'm gonna try it. This is a drill to keep your legs straight in your back handspring and just kind of strengthen those necessary body muscle groups. Wish me luck. That is the first drill that I can think of to help you keep your legs straight in your back handspring. Go from your bridge, have a little bend in your legs from your bridge, hop off of both toes. Do not kick one and then the other. Hop off both feet and straighten. Both feet, straighten. To get your arms back faster, the drill that I did with the 2 cushions with the dumbbell is going to be really good for that. Throwing your arms back. The more aggressive you can throw your arms back, the better it's going to be in your back handspring. Okay, so another thing that you can work on to throw your arms harder. I personally don't have this equipment, but if you have some sort of like resistance bands, you can step on them. Grab 2 of them, step on them, grab it to your level of kind of strength that you want it. Pull it from here, up, and then slowly back down. You don't want to just have it crash back down because you want to have control over it. So from here, up, slowly back down. So if you have a resistance band, that would be good for that. I guess if you don't have a resistance band, you can use like dumbbells or anything heavy, I guess, that you can hold in your arms just to focus on up and then slowly back down. All right, I'm gonna take one more question. I'm seeing a lot of people ask for standing tuck drills. I have a ton of them. That will be coming out soon. I am going to be doing another live next week, specifically for tucks, for running tucks, for standing tucks. So check that out. Stay in touch and up to date with our social media. Because yes, that is going to be my next focus is standing tucks. A lot of the standing tuck drills that I'm going to be doing can be used for running tucks too. So I'll kind of make sure to clarify that when I do that. But yes, if you are wanting to work tucks, join in the next time I go live and I will help you guys with that. I think that is it. Looks like I am 1 minute late, so I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed these drills. One more thing, this is not just for people that don't have their back handspring and want to get it. This is, I really, really highly encourage anybody with a back handspring, whether you're a level 2 athlete to a level 7 athlete, I really suggest you guys do these drills. The more that you do them, the more it's just going to help you, right? They're not super hard. They're pretty basic. If you want ways to make them harder or easier, you can just DM me or message me. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I should just be under Coach Chelsea Landry. But other than that, I think we are good. I hope you guys have a super good day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and just support one another. I know we're living in a super weird time right now, so just be there for one another, be kind to each other, and I will see you all soon.